Well, I think we're here. I'm not sure. Hello, this is the Chloe Sanctuary at the new location in our sort of, well, what in the world is going on here? There we go. Uh-oh. Having some technical issues here. Amy, are we live? Can you tell? Because I can't tell. How you doing, Chug? Mander. Great salamander bird. Hey, KK, what you doing? Hey, KK. Hey, KK. Well, I'm hoping we're live. I can't tell, but
we are live.
KK. Thank you.
You started a little bit early because I think the premiere was just over now. But now it seems like the people are coming over, and actually it wasn't so bad, so I could post the link in the other chat. So there are the people coming: Michelle, Susie Q, Eleanor.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you say hello, KK? KKK. Mm-hmm. KKKKK. Mm-hmm. This is our newest. This is the newest baby. KK. Mm-hmm. Who is Lorelai? You be nice. Who is female? We were under the impression KK was male, but no. Males don't vibrate, so isn't that right, KK?
KK seems to be a girl.
She certainly does, don't you, girl?
I guess once you're all signed up with the vet, you can do a DNA test to confirm it, but the vibrations looked kind of feminine.
Well, those kind of vibrations, it's just males don't do that. So she was playing, and then Lorelai chased her, so came over to get protection from me, and then Lorelai's down there on my shoe. Aren't you, Lorelai? Yeah, I got a big laugh today. I was out. I had a ton of cardboard, just a mess. We're talking about one of those big cardboard containers you put clothing in, packed to the top, and then another big stack of cardboard next to it, all cut up. Of course, I get there, and the lady who's in charge of the trash, she says, "Well, you didn't have to cut it up. Well, you can just throw them in as boxes. We don't care." And I said, "Well, it would have taken up a lot, you know." But I was originally going to band them up and then have the trash people pick them up tomorrow. But no, it was just easier to do that. So I get done and I go over to get water because yesterday I filled up almost all of our water bottles, but for some reason I was required to give cash, which usually I can use the app. There's an app I can pay on. So I went back and got three more bottles of water. 2 3 gallons and 1.5, so 11 gallons of water. And then I asked Siri, I said, take me to the nearest Chase bank. And the response was, That will add 2 hours and 36 minutes to your route. Do you want to add that? There is no Chase Bank in Pahrump. So there's an ATM though. I don't really need to have a bank. I never go to one anyway. But it was humorous, wasn't it, Lorelei? She goes, I don't know, I wasn't there. Lorelei.
Lorelei just wants to eat your shoes.
She's really picked up the habit from someone else. Lorelei, no, stop it. Lorelei, no, stop it, you big toad. No.
There are some questions about KK in the chat. So Warm Fuzzy Wives wants to know a little bit about the history of KK, if you have any background of her.
Well, the only background I have is she was with a friend of mine in Alaska, and she'd been there for a couple of years, and she had some issues with biting, which those issues are more because of the person who has the bird and is working with the bird than it is because of the bird. Okay, she hasn't even tried to bite. Stop it, Lorelei. Cut it out, you big pest. She hasn't even tried to bite here. And when I give her medicine, she is a feather plucker. So stop it, Lorelei. Leave my shoe alone. She's good. You're going to be a pest. You know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to tickle you. I'll tickle you, Lorelei.
And Michelle is asking if she is eating your food now.
Yeah, she's munching down on it. She likes it. Don't you, little girl? But she was on, she's been on Haldol for quite a while. He had to go in the hospital. He was in a VA care facility, and it just kept getting worse. And finally, he passed away. So, we didn't have any written agreement that I was going to take KK. And so the executor of the will was looking through the text messages and found, stop it, Lorelei, you big pest. No, cut it out, Lorelei. The toad. And noticed the conversation and kind of guessed that hey, you stop being a pest. Leave her alone. Lorelei. Hey! Stop it. Hey! Yeah, that's it. You're here. I don't know what's in you today, but you're out of here. Come here. Yep. You're not going to be chasing the birds. Get back in your cage. Come here. No, you're not wandering out too. Come here. Come here. You're all right now. She's not in the room. Usually that's a 2-minute timeout, but can't manage 2-minute timeouts when we're doing it live. Well, come here. Come on back. Come on, Lucy. Come on. Oh, come on. Move. Where was I?
Sleep birdies.
Yeah. So it didn't take long to get her to accept taking the medicine from me. I know she was getting it from syringe. So what I do different than most, I suppose, is that I put my face right up to their beak while I'm doing it. And then when I'm done, I lower my head like they would if they were asking to be preened. And I spend a little time petting too. So she's fine with taking the medicine now. She's on It's not a big dose of medicine. So they had her on I think they were giving it to her once a day. They were never clear on that, but once a day at a really high dose. And that doesn't usually help. But putting your face right next to their beak, showing you have no fear, if you don't have any fear, works just great. Mander, what are you doing? I turned that around because he has been sitting there, and then what happens is he ends up pooping on the wood on the other side that isn't covered. I got to put something on that. This is all temporary right now, but so I turned it around. Now he's facing the wall.
Well, that's cockatoo logic.
Mander.
It looks like he's in a sulk.
What are you doing over there? Hi, KK.
I guess once he's decided which way is the front, then he just wants to sit on the birch facing the front, even though it's against the wall.
And maybe that way it's more comfortable for his tail. So how Eleanor said that he considers that as the front where the tiny letter is. Beautiful wall, though.
Yeah, is that a nice wall you're looking at there, Mander?
It's beautifully painted, very smooth, no beak marks in it whatsoever.
This one came down again. She came down yesterday again. Is that next to me?
Oh, yeah, Shuggy came down.
It's getting unusually affectionate.
Yeah. Coming over and sitting on me, which is not something she's normally done. How are you doing, Jazzbird? Jasmine.
No needy Moluccans so far.
No.
Well, I can see it in her eyes. She wants to get preened, but she's waiting for me to give her the signal that I'm going to do it. And she knows that generally while I'm holding the phone like this, I won't. So she'll wait. Put the phone down though, and she'll be right on it. Won't you, girl? Mander, hello. Why are you facing that way?
So Lorelei is being ejected from the socialization room, and Cos wasn't even allowed in to start with. But apart from that, everyone's being good and quiet by the looks of things, apart from Manda facing the wall for some reason.
Yeah, that's just, I don't get it, Mander. What are you doing?
I guess if it makes him happy, then he can stare at the wall.
I think he just likes to sit on that perch that way, but
yeah,
he's such a sweetie.
They're funny.
Yeah, Cos is coming out with me in the mornings while I'm making breakfast, and then at night while I'm doing dinner. So she's getting out about the same amount of time, but and then she also comes out with me when I can hold her in my lap, because it's like having the holy grenade of Antioch from the Monty Python movie. It just sits there and vibrates, and at any moment it's going to go wham, take off. So
yeah, she's a little cruise missile, isn't she?
She's a kamikaze. I don't have a HEPA filter in here, so sometimes when I'm not aware of it, I start to gag. I'm gonna have to move one of the HEPAs in here, at least one. Got 3 in the living room, but.
Oh, there's a question from Warm Fuzzy who wants to know whether Lorelei goes after all clothes. I think we know the answer is yes.
Yeah, she's especially fond of buttons, zippers, and earpieces. But lately, she's picking up the shoes, and her mate, her would-be mate, Cecil, is a shoe attacker. So She's probably picking it up from him. What you doing down there? Hi, KK? She's got a sweet voice. She's got a couple of them. She has a louder voice and then a quiet voice. I think no one else has heard the louder voice except me and the birds. Because what everybody else has heard is like, KK. She talks like that, but she also will say, hello, KK. She talks like that too. Don't you?
She say, hi, KK. Hi, KK.
Hi, KKK.
KKKKK.
KK. Yeah, all the talk about her being a biter, it's just, if you don't know how to work with them, then they'll start biting, but it's not normal for them to do that. Usually they're opening their beak because they're shocked. Like you move too quickly or you're putting your hands in their territory, so they open their beak. And then when you back off, you just reinforce the behavior. So I don't back off. But I don't suggest that anyone does that if you actually are afraid. You can't hide your fear from them. They can see the temperature of your skin. They see into the UV. So if you're actually afraid, you can't hide it. So you probably won't get the same results I get. I honestly don't care if I get bit. So
Warm Fuzzy is watching the stream with her bird.
Herbert.
Her bird.
Oh, her bird. Okay.
We don't know if the bird is called Herbert.
Yes. Although that's a pretty good name for a bird, actually.
Do you think? Jocelyn says or asks if you have met your neighbors yet.
No, this is in this town. You don't usually get to meet your neighbors. They leave each other alone. But when you go into town, like today, I went to the water kiosk, and every person who came up to get water spoke to me. So
and there is a question from Sabrina. I'm interested in Don's thought of male versus female umbrellas. Researching online makes males seem like they will always be overly hormonal or aggressive. Almost makes me discouraged at times.
Well, don't believe everything you read. The males that I've dealt with are as affectionate as the females. Cecil is playful and he'll whack me with the toy, but he hugs me all the time, and he's a great hugger. And then Snowballs, he likes to hug. He doesn't like to do it in a crowd. So if you sit down with him, he'd hug you all day if you let him. Not a good idea, but I mean he would. No, I don't really see that much of a difference. The males and the females are both quite, and umbrellas are quite affectionate creatures.
And seeing as most people can't even tell whether they're male or female, I think I think that makes the whole thing more suspect, because it's like, if you can't even tell, how can you say which is more aggressive?
We thought KK is a boy before he came to us, and Don sits with him for half an hour and says, that's a girl. So.
And the people that had Cecil thought he was a girl for a couple of years. So
yeah, poor Cecil was a breeder bird and supposed to lay eggs, and he did a poorly job. So yeah. he was fired and ended up with Don.
Right, like spoiler alert, Cecil did not lay any eggs.
No, I think they're just equally as affectionate.
And when it comes to things like aggression, it's all down to how you handle them, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's what's going to make the difference.
Hey, what are you trying to do down there? Hey, KK, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh,
what a
is she
good.
making a nest? She's taking over Bob's little area.
Yeah, she's kind of making a nest there, I think. It's easy to misinterpret the beak because basically you only have two positions, open and closed. And open usually isn't to bite unless they're eating. And then they're just, chewing their food basically. So. Yeah, I always feel bad when I see people talking about the males are more aggressive. Maybe I can't even say that. Males may tend to be a little more. I hate to even. I've had females like Coco. She was just a lot of fun, just constantly getting into things and just being a blast to be around. So to say that males are more active isn't true either. So it depends on the bird. And as Dr. Friedman would say, every bird is a study of one.
I mean, the only thing where you could say they're definitely aggressive is when it comes to mate aggression, and that the males will, if they can harm the females, and you haven't really heard of that, if the females harming the males, but whether that's because it doesn't happen or whether we've just not heard of it, I mean, I couldn't really say.
It's not been known in cockatoos, and I forget which species. There are a couple of species of parrot, true parrot, that the females can kill the males or attack them. But it's not noted anywhere that it's happened in captivity with cockatoos. Hi, baby.
And with the mate aggression, you shouldn't be housing them in such close quarters that they could get into that situation anyway. So again, it ought not to apply in most people's cases.
And keeping them separated in different cages is I really don't believe you should ever have two cockatoos in the same cage. And that includes these breeders. They shouldn't be allowed to do that either. But when you put them in close proximity, you have to watch them. So if I have males and females out, I have to keep an eye on them. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Artemis is asking, does KK not have to be in quarantine?
No. KK was at the same place for 2 years, at least 2 years, up in Alaska, and had all the medical tests and everything up there. Didn't have any DNA sexing, but other than that, it does not have any diseases. So the Bornavirus tests are absolutely useless because almost every bird is going to test positive for one or the other. There's 6 of them. And nobody knows exactly which one causes the, it's the fatal version of it, but does not have any of the known problems like psittacosis or that kind of thing. So you quarantine a bird when you don't know if it's been around other birds that may have disease. Well, this one has not been. It's been with had 2 other birds that she was with, an African gray, and I forget what the other bird was, but they were together for at least 2 years. It was longer than that, but I know it was at least 2 years. So, and he kept them up with the. I actually called and talked to the vets, and they've had all their tests. So all of the birds that were in Michael's care had been tested for all the diseases. And he actually had 2 avian vets, so I had to call 2 of them. So you quarantine when you're not sure, and I've dealt with the avian vets, and I've talked to Michael for a couple of years too. So, hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, Mander.
Well, we can give some shout outs because I didn't think we've done it today. So Parrot Town TV is here. So hello, Parrot Town TV.
Hey,
and
hello.
Sabrina is here, and Erin is here. Warm Fuzzy is here. Artemis is here. Falcon Sue and Jocelyn and GTH42. And Michelle is here.
Yeah, Parrot Time TV is an awesome channel. It kept basically the birds alive while they were settled in that small room in the old home.
Oh yeah, it's lovely to watch the live streams. And Beverly is here. Who else do we have? I hope I've not missed anyone.
And they did an awesome fundraiser for us too on the channel. So.
Oh yep, they certainly did. And Susie Q is here. So hello to all of you guys.
Hello, guys. What are you doing down there? Someone is the one that gave us the table. I didn't give us the table, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was given to us. We have this gigantic toy making table, and what's funny about the table is that I was looking at this huge space we have for a dining area, and I'm thinking, well, let's see, a bowling alley, maybe. It's just, and I said, well, actually, King Arthur in his, the round table and the knights could fit right in here. So I mentioned to Rose, who's the other rescuer here in town, that I would like a round table. And about 8 hours later, I get a text saying, here's a picture of a round table that someone has. They were about to give it to the thrift store. And so I went over and got it. It weighs about 800 pounds. It's solid wood. It's not pine. It's a hardwood. But they've, the way they've colored it, the wood, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. But man, it's heavy. And it's roughly just a little under 7 feet in diameter with the leaves on it. And most tables have those. If you extend them, you like pull them apart and you drop leaves in. This has circular leaves that go on the outside. Oh, yeah, it's really old style antique stuff.
Yeah, it looks fabulous.
It's gonna be a great place to make toys, though.
And it's got a peach on the wall to look at people as they make the toys.
Yeah, Regina donated that tapestry. She was on our board of directors before, and she, what are you doing down there? You want to sneak up? You're trying to sneak up? Okay. Hi. Hello. Hi, KK. My baby. My KK baby. How you doing? So I didn't know what to say. I mean, I was just... all I did was say, oh, look like King Arthur and his knights could fit in here. And the next day I had this gigantic table in there. And without seeing it, I bought a Lazy Susan to go in the middle. And it's not big enough. I'll have to put something on top of the Lazy Susan to put tools on so that people can pass different tools along. Because you don't need to have two pairs of pliers every time you're building a toy. It takes a while to build the toy, and then you need to put the rings on it. That's when you need the pliers. What are you doing down there? And there's cutting strips of leather, and there's lots of little tools that I thought we could just pass along with a Lazy Susan, but the 16-inch one is not quite big enough. I had to get a new rack for a new set of bins for the toys too. I still had the bins, but I didn't have the rack. I lost that in the flood move. So, hi, baby. What's up? What are you doing? What you doing, KK? KK.
KK. Hi, KK.
Yeah, in chat is discussion about Sabrina Smith's bird, who was stepping up until a month ago, and still since then it hesitates to step up or refuse.
Yeah, well, that's a resurgence of an earlier behavior, probably. So what you need to do is just start the training all over. Start with targeting with the treat that they only get when they're actually whatever their favorite food is. They only get while they're training, and start moving the bird around with the target. Get close and get them to take it from your hand, and then move it a little further away until you can move them around and move them from side to side, up and down with that, and then do the same thing with the step up. Hold the treat back a little bit, where they have to lean over to get the treat, and slowly work the treat farther back until they step up. You just have to retrain whenever that happens. It is normal for a bird who learns something to lose it for a little bit, to go back to an earlier behavior. So you end up having to go through that process. And again, it goes much quicker the second, third times. So something happened to set the bird off, so it was not feeling comfortable again. You just have to work through it. That's where that training treat really comes in handy.
I think also with a new bird, sometimes they're on their best behavior when they first arrive, and then once they settle in, they start kind of pushing the boundaries a bit more to see what they can get away with. So there might be an element of that.
Yep, we call that unpacking the suitcase of behaviors. They bring them with them, but they keep them in the suitcase for a couple of weeks, and then they start unpacking. Oh, here's that behavior. I remember doing this. This got this particular reaction. I wonder what it'll do here. Right, KK?
I guess in particular, if in their last time they've been shut up in their cage for a long time and never been allowed out, then when they get to your place and you try and bring them out every day, then they're like, oh, I've got to get out. But once they realize that you're going to offer to bring them out every day, then they might start resisting just because they can.
Yep.
Once they trust you that you're always going to give them the chance to come out.
And it's good to remember to work with the behavior that you see, and don't do too much thinking about what's going on in their heads, because we can't read that. So what we try to do is work with the behavior that we see. So because we can see that, we can't read their minds. But that's a pretty good assessment of what's probably going on in their heads. We don't think about that while we're working with them. We think about, oh, the bird is not stepping up. Okay, well, what do I do to fix that? And then we break into our toolkit. I was talking to somebody who's a bird rescuer who's writing a book about, he's been commissioned to write a book about parrots, and she kept talking about negative reinforcement, not using negative reinforcement. And I'm trying to get the point across that it's in our toolkit. Negative means to take something away. Reinforcement is to maintain or increase a behavior. So it's in a book that's meant for the general public. You want to avoid using those kind of terms because people will get the wrong idea. A negative reinforcement, it's not the first tool. Positive reinforcement, adding something like a treat or whatever to maintain or increase a behavior is the most common, but we use negative too. So if there is, let's say if I don't have a method right now, but if there was something Lorelei did not feel comfortable around, okay? So in other words, I'm going to take away her comfort zone, and then I put that item wherever she is bothering, let's say bothering Jasmine when she was chasing Jasmine. Jasmine will figure out if she's near that object, Lorelei won't come over. And then what I've done is I've used something, I've taken away her sense of security around the object and maintaining the behavior of, or increasing the behavior of her staying away from an area where she's bothering another bird. So it's an example from today that I could definitely do. There are some things Lorelei does not feel comfortable around, such as a stuffed parrot. If you have if you have a stuffed parrot, she will not go near it. I don't know what she thinks, but she doesn't want to be anywhere near one of those.
It's probably uncanny valley for parrots, isn't it? Having a stuffed toy. It's like
Yeah,
us seeing one of those creepy robots or something.
yeah. There's a Daniel Suarez story about drones, but there are a couple of ravens who are in the story, and the ravens are spotting this what looks like a bird flying, but they know it's not a bird because it doesn't have a heat signature, right? So the ravens are sending a signal back. This is not right. Okay, this is not a bird. So.
Oh, there's some really funny documentary. I think it was about penguins, but they built a special camera that was camouflaged inside a robot penguin thing and sent it to live among the penguins. But it was really funny because all of the penguins obviously figured out it wasn't a real bird, but they just kind of accepted it anyway. So they just treated it like it was the kind of like, like the, I don't know, like mentally deficient cousin, I guess.
Yeah, birds are awfully smart. In the Parrots of Loquio, which is a book about trying to protect the Puerto Rican parrot, there is they talk about trying to set up blinds so they can watch the birds like you would for ducks, and it never worked. They finally gave up because the birds knew right away that they were there, and the second they stepped out, the birds would move away. So they would just come up and sit down, and the birds would allow them to sit and observe at a distance. But when they tried to set up a blind, it's as soon as they step out, boom. And they set a sentinel to watch them. They would keep changing sentinels, but it's not a book that's meant for the public, but it does have some funny sections in it like that. And it has the best description I had ever seen of birds in the wild, but it's how they get through the day. It's a page and a half long, and it's worth it just for that in the book, just to see how after 5 years of studying these birds, they looked at one day in a page and a half what it was like. The rest of the book, there's a lot of bird number 214 moves to this location, that kind of thing. It's real technical stuff, but you turned around. How long did it take you to figure that out? Mander, hi. Hello? Now I hear you, baby girl. Lorelai's telling me she's sorry now.
Oh, Lorelai.
She'll be coming back in, so. And I'll bring Cause in a little after that, but I got to hold Cause down. It's like holding onto a washing machine and spin cycle. It's just
duct tape her to the chair.
pretty much. But if I bring her in for 5 or 10 minutes at a time and get her out for a couple hours while I'm doing other things, eventually she'll figure out if she wants to stay in here, she's got to keep from becoming a kamikaze.
Amanda, what are you doing?
He's scratching his neck. Silly bird. How you doing? Where'd you go? Oh, are you still there? Hi. Hi, KK. You're awful quiet. Hi, KK.
KK.
I know. She was having fun until Lorelai went after her, and Laura didn't do anything to her. She just jumped right next to her. She knew that would scare her, so KK flew to the floor and then came over to me. And she's not really gotten back into exploring. Maybe she'll do that now. Where are you going? Huh? You just turning around, huh, kid? Are you just turning around? Kind of hard to pet you when you're down there. Silly bird. Yeah, I'm sure she's still missing her dad. Yes, baby girl. You had 3 parrots, but you could tell that KK was the one that was on his mind all the time. Right, KK? Hmm? What are you doing up there?
Got an itchy head. Sugar. Maybe she's got more loose feathers. She had a feather
Maybe.
the other day that was loose and it was sticking out at a funny angle. It looked really silly.
And it was bugging her too. Yeah. Wasn't it, kid? Wasn't it? Huh? Silly bird. Yeah, just a big silly bird. Now you're just waiting for me to put the phone down, aren't you? And then you're going to come over and whine. I know. I know how that works. She's so smart. She knows that while I'm holding it, there's not much of a chance to get petted. So, right, Luce? Right, Lucy? Still
How's
so much
Lucy's-
to do.
How's Lucy's beak doing?
Yeah, I'm working on it, but it's going to take a long time. And it's a couple hours. Well, the nearest vet's about 90 minutes away, which beats the heck out of getting to Dr. Jenkins. But I can whittle it down. I just have to work on it every other day. Right, girl? Hi, baby girl.
Oh, Sugar's doing some stretches.
Yeah, still a lot to
Sugar
do around
yoga.
here.
Mm,
I don't have
that's
any
sporty, Sugar.
no drapes on the windows. No, I got film on these, so it keeps it from getting too hot in here. Didn't do a great job on it, but it works. Oh, you're going to ask me to pet you anyway? You are?
Oh,
You
that's what the
are?
yoga was for. She was getting limber to move 3 inches to the end of the perch and get petted. Strenuous.
That's tough work when you're a sugar.
Hmm.
Right, sugar? You're pointing the phone at me. Why are you doing that?
Well, if you want to get petted, then you have to put on a show for the viewers.
Now we might get a couch for in here. That'll be better because as it is with Bob, he keeps getting in here trying to rip up the cords that hold the chair together. So, but throw a blanket over it and have room. The only problem with this room I found is that they tend to want to go to sleep when you're. They let me sleep for about an hour yesterday, and they all calmed down and let me sleep. Because I've been doing a lot of extra work trying to get this place set up. Today was getting rid of the cardboard and getting some more water. We have
Well,
water here in the wall. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you need the sleep, then you may as well take a nap, and if they all behave, then that's good.
They behave. Bob, if I have a couple of sweats that have zippers on them, and it's the worst thing he'll do is break a zipper, in a pocket zipper. So he's basically destroyed every pocket zipper. But other than that, he doesn't do anything. He just kind of sits and plays and chews wood while I'm sleeping. They all act that way. They all behave. I don't know why that is. They
Just
do.
goes to show they do know how to be good. They just like to wind you up.
Yeah, they have definitely found the key to winding me up. Haven't you, sugar? Come here. Come on. I can't reach it. There you go. There's that beak. There's that beak.
Oh, Shiggy.
Well,
Ooh.
thanks everybody for helping to get us here, because took a lot of people pulling for us for it to happen. I saw a guy at the water kiosk today, just as I was about to leave, and he said, "You new here?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I left California." He goes, "Oh, California? Where?" I said, "San Diego." "Oh, well, that's beautiful." I said, "No, it isn't. You can't afford to live there. It's great to visit on a vacation, but you don't want to live in San Diego." So we had about a 10-minute conversation about how costly it is to live in San Diego. That's it. You're not going to come any closer?
Not when the cameras are running.
Yeah, that's what's got her. That's why she's walking away. You're pointing the
Not allowed.
camera at me.
It's not allowed to let the people know that the sugar is so cuddly and adorable.
Nice, sweetheart. Amanda, you gonna come down?
Oh no, the Sugi is moving. That's something new. And there's someone sleepy.
Yeah. KK, you okay there, kid? I'm gonna have to go get the other birds here soon. It's about that time for us now. Isn't it, kids? Maybe get the Lorelei back in here. Give them all a little more time to play, right?
It looks like, when I read the chat right, we need some more Who is Who bird quizzes in the future.
Oh yeah, that's true. KK is going to be the hard one to figure out. She kind of looks a little like Snowball. A little. I can tell the difference right away, but
Yeah, that could be a good cockatoo episode sometime. You can do an update on the flock in their new home and do a bit of, here's so and so, here's a few facts and how to identify them. That could be fun. When you've got time.
oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna have more time. I have a few things to do, like put up drapes. I mean, if we don't have any drapes anywhere. I've got these bathroom curtains that April from Parrot Playhouse suggested, so you wouldn't have to spend like $3,000 on drapes. But even
Sheesh.
still, it's when you start talking about drapes, they're not cheap. So and then just the rods to hang them are expensive too. So just getting enough. Basically, their hotel, the kind of shower curtains they use in hotels, they're about $10, $11 a piece. They block the sun fairly well, though, and so people can't see in. That's the main thing. But the only place I splurged is the toy making room. I got some burgundy drapes to put in there.
Oh, that'll be nice.
But yeah, I want people who are making toys. It'll be more fun. I was looking into like cups.
Put a perch next to it, and Lucy or someone can supervise.
Yeah, it's too bad Peaches can't do that, because she would have loved being there to supervise. She was always good at that.
I think Peaches is not a supervisor. She supervises now everything in Nevada Param.
Yeah, I think so. Well, guys, I'm going to let you go so I can get Lorelei back out and keep an eye on her. And thank you guys for coming. And we'll see you again on Wednesday. And maybe I'll have curtains in here by then. Who knows?
Well, thanks for the
Maybe.
stream, Don, and thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Eleanor and Amy, and for helping out and all the other things you guys do. Take a look at that at our merch store too. I mean, Amy worked hard on that. It's got a lot of new stuff in there. So some of which someone sent me. It's pretty cool. I got a tile of peaches that is right where I make the medicine and stuff. I spent a lot of time in that one spot in the kitchen. So that's where the peaches tile is. So
That's sweet.
Okay,
I can always
guys.
think of peach.
We will see you on Wednesday.